In terms of an offshore investor who's not familiar with this model of yours, where do the risks sit, and what are your guys' risk mitigation measures inside of the fund that helps you manage those risks?
Sure. So, on the risk side, we are buying a set pool of real estate investments. Each one of those investments have their own set of risks and opportunities. Um, we do a detailed underwriting due diligence review for each investment opportunity. Always happy to share our investment committee memos, but they're 50 to 75 pages. And the key for us is making sure there's no environmental issues. So we'll always do full environmental phase one and phase two studies up front. We do a full title and survey review, property condition reports, appraisals, tax and insurance, third-party review. Um, and yeah, that due diligence process is really meant to make sure we understand what we're buying. Now, once we get that kind of risk out of the way on the operational side, leverage, we do put individual property loans on our investments. We can go up to 75% of the value of the property. I would tell you in today's environment, we're closer to 50 to 60% going in leverage. But we need to make sure that we have appropriate reserves and assumptions and downside scenario analysis to make sure that we can cover our property loans. Because if we don't pay our debt service coverage for those loans, they do have the ability to foreclose. So that is a risk, we need to monitor closely. You're always subject to execution risk. So we work with strong local partners who know the markets inside and out, who understand how to execute on the business plan. So we really like to avoid investing in projects or with groups that are learning on our dime and haven't demonstrated the ability to do exactly what we need to be successful. And then we do have up to 30% of the fund earmarked for new development. And so with new development, we will not take entitlement risk. So we'll only invest in projects that are fully permitted and ready for development. We will structure guaranteed price contracts with our contractors so that we can mitigate the cost overrun risk. And again, it comes down to working with local development partners who really know what they're doing and are very, very experienced in developing the product that we're building. And then, on the exit, we are privy to what's happening in the capital markets environment at any given time. So, what we try to do to mitigate that risk is we invest in properties that we can execute the business plan quickly, in two years, max. And then we have a window of time, 2 to 3 years to pick that right capital markets environment to sell the asset and realize the full proceeds. So it's a closed-end fund. We're obligated to eventually sell all of the assets that we buy in order to return capital and profit to our investors. But we're focused on shorter-term execution projects to give us that flexibility and time to maximize the return.